So I actually saw the final Mission Impossible movie, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, which is the eighth movie of the franchise, which we saw Ethan Hunt actually returns to battle the evil AI program, the Entity, for one last job. Now, I've actually loved the movie, and I actually love how they got the cast together for one last mission. So here is the review of The Final Reckoning, which it begins 2 months after Dead Reckoning Part 1. We actually saw that the world had been plunged into chaos as the Entity have actually create complete chaos, knowing how he actually have caused nuclear power plants to go up in out of control, as the world have can't actually do nothing about it. So they knew that something has to be done, which of course Erica Sloane, played by Angela Bassett from the Black Panther movies, knew that there's only one man for the job who could actually stop the Entity, and that is Ethan Hunt, which, of course, Tom Cruise returns from the Mission Impossible movies, and, of course, the Top Gun movies, which she wants him to accept the mission to stop the Entity. But, of course, he refused, knowing of the fact that no one can stop the Entity, which of course she wanted him to surrender the key that was actually from the Russian submarine, which of course allows the user to control the Entity. But the only that he actually has is the Entity's agent, Gabriel. So he decided to go after him with the rest of his IMF agents. Of course, Luther, played by Van Rum, Benji, played by Simon Pegg, and Grace, played by Haley Atwell, which they decided to actually come together to apprehend him in Paris. So they decided to find out where they are, in which they actually knew that Biggs, his partner, and of course the CIA agent Gus, actually wants to figure out where he is, but they refuse. So now they actually find Gabriel in London, but he actually caught them first because he's threatening Grace to actually get the core from the submarine, by which he revealed that it was Ethan who was actually the one created the Entity, because before then it was originally known as the Rabbit's Foot, a prototype weapon that can actually hunt down anyone, but it was incomplete. That was actually stolen in Shanghai. So now, knowing how Ethan was responsible for the creation, and now it's been released into the world. So now they decide to break free of the cell and actually chasing him. But he escaped, knowing that the team realized that Gabriel is actually contacting the Entity, knowing of how they actually realize of what they had to do, because they actually need access to the bunker in South America, where they actually knew that it can save the world, because they knew the Entity believes that it is God. However, we knew how he won't allow it to do so. by which the entity is one step ahead when they actually realize that they land into a trap that he set up a bomb. So Luther decided to stay behind to disarm the bomb, by which it actually blew up and killing him in the process, which he actually was sacrificed for the world, in which Ethan said goodbye, knowing that he felt hurt, knowing that Luther is gone. So now Ethan has no other choice but to surrender to the police in London, where they actually knew that they're actually taking him to Virginia, knowing that Sloan is still trying to get him to work for them under their benefits. But he refused once again because, of course, the entity had taken control of the nuclear weapons that it actually happens in the world, where they're about to launch into different countries in 4 days. So now time running out where he can stop the entity, by which we knew they locate the submarine where Ethan have gone underwater to the North Pacific Ocean to get it, and which, of course, they actually knew that the submarine is inches away of being collapsed and fall into the cliff. So we knew how they have gotten the confession, which of course was destroyed, by which they knew that they actually realized that Ethan is still in trouble. So now they actually was saving him for almost being drowned. So we knew how Ethan have actually got a weapon from Luther before his death called the poison pill, a device that can actually destroy the entity and making him completely useless, by which Ethan agrees. However, he decided to give up the core to Gabriel, and of course, he actually stolen the poison pill. So we knew how they are headed towards the nuclear weapons in the stockpile. So now they're actually trying to stop both of them in the process, by which, of course, knowing how Benji was injured, and so the countdown have started with only 20 minutes left, by which they have actually have no other choice but let Ethan to actually stop Gabriel, and they actually decide to use airplanes to actually fight battles, which that actually is awesome, in which knowing how he have jumped into the plane, which is the yellow, knowing how Gabriel is actually trying to push Ethan out of the plane, but he was killed when he actually hit into the rudder. So now we knew how he have actually let Grace uploaded the poison pill and upload the entity into the bunker system and removing it completely, in which they have successfully saved the world, knowing how the bombs have completely shut down. So the team have actually saved the world one last time, by which Ethan was actually found by Kittredge and Biggs, knowing how they are furious that the damages have done to the core, by which we knew how Ethan's original teammate, Jim Phelps, where his son, James Phelps Jr., have actually appeared and make peace with him. So they actually been reunited, where they actually knew that the entity is safe and sound inside the drive, in which, of course, the team have decided to go on their separate ways, which, of course, they decided they say goodbye one last time, and Ethan actually prepare a toast for Luther. So, as the movie ends, where we get to see the end credits of entire scenes from the movie, and how awesome it is that the end credit animation was there. Now, my verdict for this movie is that I really enjoy the movie completely, which, of course, the airplane stunts was actually incredible, even though the doctor told Tom Cruise not to do any more of his own stunts. But that actually won't stop him, because, of course, he is Tom Cruise and he is awesome at doing his own stunts, despite of his age, of course. Plus, the cast have actually done an incredible job of their performance, and the staff have did an incredible work making the movie, as well as the director Christopher McQuillt, who also direct and produced the movie with Tom as well. So I really cannot wait to actually watch the movie at home with my Mission Impossible collection, which I'm doing a movie marathon of it when it comes out on Blu-ray. So I actually enjoy the movie as well. So thank you guys for the final Mission Impossible movie. So it was actually incredible. However, this also actually means that I'm going to see Lilo and Stitch movie, because it actually is a double feature, which they both release on the same day. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment anything about the final Mission Impossible movie. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and my Facebook page and Twitch. Until then, this is Anime Guys around here saying signing out. Laters.